is OC4 Presents. My name is Michelle Wojcik. Welcome. Joining us today is Charles Gurtin from Tax Reform Immediately, a organization here in Oakland County. We're going to be talking about taxation and regulation. Is that right, Charles?
Yes.
What exactly is your group? And there's an acronym for your Tax Reform Immediately?
Well,
what's it called?
TRIM is a
TRIM.
TRIM. TRIM is an informational and educational program which was first organized by the John Birch Society in 1974. TRIM is an acronym for Tax Reform Immediately. TRIM's goal is lower taxes through less government. The 12th Congressional TRIM was first founded or organized in 1988 by Mr. Dennis Felix of Warren, with myself becoming its chair in 1994.
Wow, so you've been involved for a few years
Yes.
then. Now the 12th District TRIM, what is that intended to accomplish?
12th District TRIM's mission is to educate and inform the citizens of the 12th Congressional District here in Michigan on issues involving taxation and regulation at the national level, which affect their personal lives and the economy.
How did you get involved in something like that?
How did I first become involved?
Yes.
With, well, in 1994, I was listening to the Mark Scott program, and Mr. John McManus from the John Birch Society was on, and I listened to the program, and I liked what I heard, so I requested an informational packet. From there, I saw the packet, and then I put it down for a couple of months, and then I picked it back up, and I asked, well, how can I find out more? From there, I started going to a chapter meeting of the John Birch Society in Warren, and I was introduced to the TRIM program. I liked what I saw. I saw it as a way to inform people here in the 12th District on, again, issues involving taxation and regulation, and from there I became involved with the TRIM program.
Interesting. How does your organization inform people about what you're doing and how to get involved and so on?
Well, TRIM informs people through the distribution of these tri-annual bulletins, and also by sponsoring speakers into the 12th TRIM, or 12th District, on various issues.
I see. And do you publish this newsletter locally then, or?
Well, it can be published locally. We purchase our copies from the National TRIM headquarters, which is in Appleton, Wisconsin. Nice. And they make each TRIM bulletin specific to a congressional district.
So there are other organizations like the 12th District
Yes.
TRIM all over the country?
All over the country, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
From a historical perspective, has it been going on for a long time, did you say?
You're talking about the TRIM program?
Yes.
The TRIM program was first organized by the John Birch Society in 1974.
So it has been,
Yes.
has an illustrious history. How do you, tell me a little bit about this bulletin that you
Well,
publish.
on the back page, we have the congressperson that the TRIM bulletin is about. We have the votes that are picked, and these votes are drawn straight from the congressional record. On the left-hand side are each of the votes, on this one being 8 votes, and these all involve taxation issues. On the right-hand side, we have 3 columns. The first column being average cost per household of these votes, and on the next 2 columns is the record of how this congressperson voted. If they voted for lower taxes and less government, this is recorded as a star, and if they voted for higher taxes and big government, this vote is recorded as an X.
Can you describe for me or define for me the average cost per household column? What does that mean?
Well, there's 2 ways to grade like average cost per house. You could either it could either been graded as average cost per family or average cost per household. A family is, take for example, if you're married and have 2 children, they would consider that a family. But average cost per household actually makes these numbers smaller than average cost per family, because a single person living in an apartment is considered a household.
Right.
So it actually lowers, it's actually a bigger pool to divide all of these numbers into. So
Okay.
if you were to look at it as average cost per family, these numbers would be much higher.
So, Mr. Gurton, each of those issues are then translated into what it would cost the average household for that particular issue.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's, you're basically showing in your bulletin how that impacts.
The average household
Okay,
in a,
interesting.
yes.
How are the issues selected? Do you select those locally, or?
All of the, well, would you like me to
Please,
explain? Okay,
yes,
well,
it's interesting.
to explain the rest of the bulletin, I'll be getting to that.
Okay.
On the front page, we have a issue which is pertinent to this trim bulletin, or in other words, it's a time-specific issue, or what's happening now. Go to the second page, we have what's called the Constitutional Corner, and this describes a different aspect of the Constitution. On the bottom, we have a trim ordering form, which you can order trim bulletins for any of the 435 congresspeople now in the House of Representatives. On the right of that, you have Tax Bites, which shows specific examples of wasteful spending. On page 3, we have the follow-up story to page 1, which shows, goes into a little bit more depth on facts and figures. Then on the bottom of page 3, it talks about the votes on the back page and how they were picked. Votes on the back page are, again, it's only involves taxation and spending.
Okay.
No other issues. It's, you know, again, taxation and spending. The issues are picked because, one, they involve $1 billion or more of your taxes, and, or I'm sorry, they involve $1 billion or more of your taxes, and either one, includes significant unconstitutional spending, or two, they include spending increases instead of the spending decreases which are required to bring the deficit under control, or three, on occasion they will list an amendment which offers a clear-cut opportunity to roll back the welfare state.
I see.
So,
And you said that comes out 3 times a year?
3 times a year, yes. And these are labeled the spring, summer, and fall-winter issues.
I understand that the bulletin report card makes a statement on unconstitutional spending.
Yes.
How is a graded issue determined to be unconstitutional?
Well, you know, this question has always been with us. Let's take a look at this next video clip on how Congressman Davy Crockett, an American hero, handled the question of unconstitutional spending.
Great.
Dear Mr. Congressman, as a friend, I feel an obligation to explain to you why I cannot support you in the Charity Appropriations Bill. My conviction stems from an incident that happened just last winter. You may remember the night. It was frigid, or as some would say, colder than a beaver's tooth and 10 times as destructive.
I thought I saw him gnawed off in session there.
Oh. Colonel Crockett, this is a night when a coonskin cap would be the more appropriate attire.
Yes, sir. Although coons have more sense when they come out on a night like this.
Colonel Crockett, all of Georgetown, it's on fire.
What?
Good God. Oh, no.
Well, let's see if we can help.